I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes silence can seem so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But first I know it starts inside of me. Oh, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. 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 I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. 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 I can fly. I can fly. I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
Wow, wasn't that amazing? Let's go out in the parking lot. Let's run through that open door. That was awesome, Andrew. Where'd he go? Oh, well, he already... Well, yeah, he flew off. He flew out of that nest. Okay, back on point. See, that's why I didn't let him take me deep into that song, so I could be here now. So we have to believe, and we have to believe first inside our own self. We have to picture it as he was singing and get a clear picture of that, and then you just run through that open door. And so what we're talking about in this fourth Sunday of this amazing book, we still have some. If you have not read this book, I'm still telling you to buy it, is Decide to Be Healthy. And it's the only one you've got. What do you think we're talking about? Yeah, your life, your body. Well, we may have more than one lives. I don't know. We may have more than one body. Actually, we really do have many bodies. No, we do. No. That's good too. But not what I was thinking. Good. And, think of our bodies when we were 8 pounds, some odd ounces or whatever. Think of our body when we were 6 years old. Think of our body when we're 13. Can I keep going? Who wants to be the body in the room? They're not the same. So we do have more than one body, but it's the only one we've got. So do we want to decide to be healthy? And so what I'm going to invite you to do right now is to actually just go within and stay within till I tell you to open your eyes. Because no one else is going to see how you raise your hand here except for me. Willie's even going to close her eyes. Yes. So I want you to ask yourself, do you believe you are as healthy as you could be? And if you believe that you are as healthy as you could be, please raise your hand. It's just for me to see. Okay, if you raise your hand, I invite you to lower them. And now I'd like for you to ask yourself, do you want to be healthier than you are now? So if you'd like to be healthier than you are now, please raise your hand. I'm the only one who gets to see this. Okay. So some of you didn't raise your hand either time, so I'm a little confused, but that's okay. And so that's what we're here to talk about and to be on this journey together. You can open your eyes. I did tell you I would ask you to do that. Come back. So one of the things that Barker does with this chapter and how he starts off, I really love it. He says, do we take time to praise our good health? So regardless of where we are now, we're all in good health, or we couldn't have gotten out of the bed and come here today. So we're in good health. And do we praise it? And because I was working on this message for us all today, on my drive in this morning, I said, wow, I took the time to praise my good health. And it's sort of like when we're not so healthy, we put a lot of attention on that, don't we? Like, oh, it gets a lot of our attention. But what happens while we're healthy? So that's one thing that I really like how he started the chapter. It's sort of like our car. If it's running great, we don't think much about it until something happens, right? We get a flat or whatever. So, think of that on a consistent basis, if you could just be grateful, first and foremost, for your good health, all right? And then what he tells us is a person has to first, if you are seeking better health, you first have to decide to be well before any spiritual therapy or any spiritual principle can begin to work for you. You must first decide to be healthy. That's where it all begins. It's that decision. And I want to share something. And then he followed up, so I don't forget. And once you've made that decision, we've said this throughout this month, you then expect. It's that expectation that I'm well. You can't leave that off either. So it's the decision to be healthy, to be health, and I expect that I am healthy. Well, I started thinking about this because I taught this class last summer. First time I've taught this class, second time I read the book, and I really got into the class. And what I'm going to share today, I don't even think the students in that class, I don't think they know. And so I looked back on my calendar this morning, and I said, I know it was just about this time. I wonder when exactly was the time. And on a particular Tuesday night, it was week 5, and we had just decide to live richly. We did that last week, right? And the day before I taught that class is when I found the lump in my left breast. And then I taught that class because I didn't think that was any big deal, finding that. right? I taught that class, and then I started to prepare for the next class, which was Decide to Be Healthy. So this book and this class and the students, in addition to everything that happened after that, but in this particular week, it was less than a week's time where this crescendo went really fast. And I stayed on preparing for this class, Decide to Be Healthy, and I said, I'm going to decide to be healthy. And the morning of the night I taught that class is when I got my diagnosis of breast cancer. And I taught that class that night. And I was pretty fired up. I really actually went right through. There's one sitting on the front row right here that I love very much, Kathy Novotny. And I went right through them. And I got really right in them. Because I needed that for me. I knew I had to decide right then to be healthy, no matter what was presenting itself, right? And Barker tells us that the half-hearted person might as well rely on the material. The half-hearted person should use material means, but the wholehearted person should use spiritual means. Now, I'd love for you to hear that. The wholehearted person should use spiritual means. So we not only need to decide, but we need to wholeheartedly decide to be healthy. Barker says, the subconscious mind, which is the operative system of the body, cannot start to create a healthy body until the conscious mind acts authoritatively with a decision of health. With authority, we decide. And then the subconscious mind begins, right? Hope will not work. It carries no authority. I hope to be better. It carries no authority. Has none, he says, right? And so that when we're weak at the conscious level in that decision, and the subconscious level is still strong, which one do you think is going to win out? Yeah. Subconscious will always win out. And especially when we're talking about health. And it takes a lot of consistency, he shares. It's not for the weak or the faint of heart, but we can all do it. Every day we can say, I am healthy, right? Or I'm grateful for my health. And I heard this today from Dr. Peter. She was teaching the class. As we decide, I want to be healthy, then it's imperative, and so join us Wednesday night, because we're going to do this. It's imperative that we get a clear mental picture of what that means to us. And once we have that clear mental picture, we've decided, we have the clear mental picture, then we let the law do its thing. Now, we need to cooperate with the law to help it do its thing, but we're not doing it. But, you know, those things that nudge us like, well, maybe it's time for me to give up sugar or to start exercising, and we're going to talk about that. We have opportunities throughout the year. But we can't just say, I decide to be healthy, and I'm now 420 pounds sitting on my couch. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. I'm not going to try it, so you're not going to find out from me. Now, you know, and not to be moved once you get that conscious mental picture. I want to bring in this other little element, and I admit, I've worked on this. So what happens when we get sick? We get scared. Okay, I'm going in a certain direction. So do we get a lot of attention when we get sick? Yeah. Marcy brings you soup. I can attest to that. Right? She said it at the first service, so I was just throwing it out, Marcy. We get paid vacation from our jobs. I don't have to go to work, right? Or, you know, all this attention. Honey, could you get me some more tissues? Whatever you say, sweetheart. What else do you need? You feeling me? Right? And so we get a lot of attention, or perhaps we weren't really sick growing up, but somebody else in our family was, and we saw all that attention, and it's like, they're getting all that attention. There may be something in us subconsciously where we actually like this attention. Or the rest. So, Barker tells us, and I love this, lose interest in sympathy. And do not seek it from others. And I must admit, when this thing went down, I had to really work inside myself, because there were times in my life that I actually would have wanted that attention. And I would have gotten a lot of attention from you folks. And I had to really, really keep ratcheting myself up, and I had to declare, I don't want that attention. I don't seek it, I don't want it, I don't need it. That's not what I want. I decide to be healthy. And I actually got a little pissosity along the way in this journey about it, because right before my surgery, as y'all know, I'd moved into my house and I was lifting boxes and moving this and running up my second story flights, and I got a little pissy. I'm like, I am too healthy to be here, right? And I'm like, look at this, right? And so I just kept that mental picture of what it means for me to be in total perfect health. And I worked at, I don't need this attention. Because I have other people in my family that gets lots of attention that way. I was like, not me, right? And so he also shares with us to watch our conversations with people. And don't put your attention on it. And I love you all for how you rose to the occasion after Dr. Petra and I did that talk in September. You didn't ask me. It wasn't a topic of conversation. If I had been anywhere else, see, the great news is I don't know anyone else but you in Dallas. That's great, and I didn't have much of it on Facebook. But if I had been anywhere else, can you imagine all the conversation that somebody would want to have with me about, well, how's the breast cancer going? What are you going to decide? What are you going to do? It would have been totally in front of me all the time. And that's not what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to focus on. I decided to be healthy. And so you helped in that. But if I'd been anywhere else, I could have placed my attention on it quite a bit. And so you might find when we let go of, I don't want any of this sympathy, you actually don't have a lot of patients and people in your lives who talk about it all the time. And those conversations disappear. You don't have a lot of people coming up and talking to you about how bad they feel. Now he says, and he's right, there may be times when you have to face a slight or major physical illness, right? It just happens. But now we're learning how to be spiritually equipped so that we don't face it with fear or speculation. And that was the other key thing. I could not allow my mind to not only go into the fear, but to start speculating on where is this journey going to take me. Because that morning that I found out I was diagnosed, they said I had 5 or 6 tumors, but then afterwards, I found out I had 10, right? And it was just like, if I could have speculated all day long what my journey was going to look like. And I really held fast to what is the outpicturing, what is the mental equivalent, what do I want this journey to be? And it certainly is outpictured completely the way I wanted that, right? So Barker tells us, I love this, health is not body. It is a state of consciousness that permeates body, but it is not the body. See, the body is impersonal. It's this beautiful organized field of substance, but it has no identity to it. I am not my body. This nose does not know it's a nose. My pinky does not know it's a pinky. Hey, foot, how you doing down there? Are you my foot? Oh, gosh, first it didn't even hear the question, much less answer it. Right? health is not body. It's our consciousness that this is all about, and this is what we're learning. And I got to tell you, it was actually quite interesting, as some of you might imagine, especially you women, I don't know, but you might have imagined it was quite the odd sight talking to a plastic surgeon, and I keep repeating, I am not my body. I am not my body. I am not my body. They did not know what to do with me. I really hope that sinks in, because goodness knows our society really wants you to believe you are. That's a whole nother talk. Big time. But we are not our body. So again, it takes real stamina to decide to be healthy by means of metaphysics. We have to keep that clear picture of what perfect health is, and keep it there, and keep it there, and keep it there, and let the law do its thing, right? And the other thing that he shares is that your body will always respond to your beliefs about it. And I really wanted to bring this forward. It will respond to your beliefs about it, because your subconscious mind can only create out of your own beliefs, not someone else's. And I had an interesting journey with that. First off, on a really wonderful journey, soon after my surgery in September, I followed up with my alternative medical professional that I'd seen just before, and then saw him like 3 weeks after surgery. And he was like a little kid in a candy store. As he was testing me, he was like, oh my God, your immune system is off the charts. It's like done a major reset. It was like you're born again. I was thinking about being Christian again. And it was just like major reset, right? My mother would be so proud. And it was like major reset. And he was like, oh my gosh, what have you been doing? Well, I'll share that at another time when we do some of this stuff in August and September. But anyway, and the other thing he said, all of your organs are firing at the highest level. Now, I already had that belief, because again, I made the decision to be healthy, and that was my belief. I never let anyone tell me I wasn't, no matter what words, and you can imagine, they were throwing at me through the whole process. And so I wasn't surprised at all. I'm like, great, I'm so happy. And it helped me a lot about a week later when I went to see an oncologist. And they were sharing all the statistics and all of their beliefs about what I was to be doing next. But I had my beliefs. And I knew, and still do, that I am cancer-free. So I said, no, thank you, because they didn't align with my beliefs. And again, we all get to make our own decisions. Everything is about a decision on our journeys as we do this. But it was interesting because they kept throwing their beliefs at what was going to happen. And by the way, I can't buy into any of them, because I made the decision, no, that's not for me, because I am totally healthy, and I don't want to put certain things in my body, because it's healthy, right? So I'm just sharing some of these little intimate details in my process with you in hopes that it helps, because true health is based on the principle that God is life, and that life is your life now. That's what true health is all about. God is life. That's what we all are. And we have to do our part and get the nudgings and decide, is yoga for me, is it time to give up sugar, or whatever, right? But God is life. And so I wanted to sum up this entire book. And I know you're reading it all the way through. Yes? I want to hear that. Because there's decide to be creative, and then there's this chapter called decisions, decisions, decisions. But there were two things that struck me so much that I wanted to bring them into our collective space from that chapter. Okay? So here's the first one. And remember, expect to be happy. Now you know that you can expect to be happy. We started there. We end with happiness. I love happy. Okay. Being the center and the circumference of my experience, I accept the responsibility for all causation. Take a breath. This is a big one. Not all people are ready or willing to do this. They do not want to look in the mirror and face and handle what they see. When you can honestly accept your mind and emotions as the only real causes of your experiences, you have set yourself free of all the delusions of which the human mind is capable. Now you are on solid ground. Now you are ready to find out why the you that you are not the you that you can be. Now that is on page 192. And the one thing that I want to say is, when this thing struck, it wasn't only the class and this book and this community. Where I really found my solid ground, in addition to these teachings, is when Dr. Petra told me the consciousness that created this breast cancer is not the consciousness that you have now. And I got that. That let me off the hook, first of all, and second of all, quite honestly, one has lived in this consciousness all her life, and I know what the consciousness was over the past 6 to 8 years, and I know why I got breast cancer. Consciousness creates. But when she told me that, I got very clear, and I knew it. That's right. That is not the consciousness that I have now, and that gave me everything I needed to lift myself and say, so consciousness, let's create. Right? I really want y'all to get that, because we're all going to be faced with something, whatever it is, and to know that that's from the rear view mirror. It's not the now. I'm on a little bit of a soapbox, and that's okay. That's the way I was with them that night about deciding to be healthy. Just want you to know. Okay. And then last, and certainly not least, I want you to hear this loud and clear. Plaster this everywhere in your house. Any feeling of your inferiority or insignificance is ridiculous. I love Barker. You are important to life. That which created you and brought you this far will take care of you for the rest of eternity. You are a citizen of the universe, and no claim that you can make is too much for the power which is within you to accomplish. It knows no limitations, not even the ones you have placed within your own thinking. Give this power great works to do by maintaining great ideas in your consciousness. The creative process of your subconscious mind is inexhaustible. Love that. It knows neither worry nor fatigue. It is perfect in its precision. Give it great goals to accomplish. Use it for greatness. When you trust the creative power of the universe, you know what real relaxation is. Ooh. I know what real relaxation is. That's one of the gifts I got out of this journey, to be cancer-free in a very short period of time. Right? And so I really got to say this. I can't go back. And this is in the chapter, so find it. I love this. He's so funny. Most of us are not really valuable to life until we are past 50. I'm not there yet, but I'm on the cusp. But anyway, so remember, you were not born to be like other people. You were not born to be like anyone else. You know, you are this unique representation of the infinite source. That's who each of us are. Oh my gosh. We can decide to be anything we want to be. If one can do it, everyone can do it. It's impersonal, remember? That's what a principle is. So, how about we decide to be the outpicturing of this infinite source together in 2015? We have lots of opportunities. We're going to decide, if you choose, to, first of all, in March, we're going to stop complaining as a community. Yes. Okay. Now, if you don't want to, you could just not show up in March. I'm kidding. Please don't. I'd miss you. Okay. In May, we're going to do a media fast. So whatever's your junkie, TV, Facebook, whatever, you can decide. It's up to you, to give that up for a month. Okay? In June, we're going to decide to live richly, cut up some credit cards, and finally get financially free. We have some classes to support you in that. In August, my birthday month, we are going to decide to eat healthy, and yes, you can decide to give up sugar for 30 days. If you trust me on this, you're going to feel so great if you just try it once in your life. I know, take a big breath on that. And on September, we're going to decide to continue to live healthy and get out and exercise. Maybe we just do something all together. We go hiking one Sunday afternoon or something. I don't know. And then we're going to have 2 opportunities this year. We all want to decide to pray and meditate together. And so we do that in Sanghas. We pray together. And so you're going to have opportunities. We already have over 200 people doing that right now. And so it's a great year for us to decide to be that infinite source. Are you on board?
Yes.
Oh, wait. That was too quick. Great. So, all of you, and there's quite a number, that raised your hand on either of those questions. And if you didn't, because you didn't know how, I invite
Keep
you
it
to
real.
Right. I invite you to stand, because we're going to do a collective prayer, and I want us all to pray like we've never prayed before. So decide that you want to be healthy. And come on Wednesday. Thank you. Because we've got one more Wednesday, and we've had over 60 and 80 people every Wednesday. You don't want to miss it. We're going to wrap it up. So here we go. We're going to pray together. Andrew's going to play a little bit to get us starting. And then what I invite you to do is to really embody this. We're going to do it collectively, like you've never prayed before. Okay? Here we go.